We're going to talk about all of this, plus your chats right here on the Big Ten Team Rivalry Show, where we have expert trash talk and unrivaled analysis. But this sounds drastic, but I suppose you have to take drastic action when your head coach can't count to 11. I was almost ready to call it off. This is ridiculous.
Let's get into it. Let's talk football. That's going to make us both feel a lot better. And they've finally figured out a winning formula in the last three. Well, I mean, they've been winning the whole time. They just haven't been winning the championships that we won. I mean, Michigan was never a bad team except for maybe 2017 and 2020. Okay, this is really dumb. Why? Maybe it's not dumb. That at the end of this, the NCAA is going to have more egg on their face than Michigan is.
If you're between 19 and 23 years old and people are throwing millions of dollars at you, that's got to mess with your head.
That might be a pipe dream. That might be a pipe dream. I'm just thinking because
it might be, but it would be a lot of fun.
That would be sweet. How long has this segment gone on? Like 40 minutes?
Welcome to the Big Ten Team Rivalry Show. This is how things go around here, and you know that because you've seen the show before. All 691 subscribers, by the way, thank you for that.
How many people are going to tune in for the Michigan-Ohio State game now, knowing that the loser of this game can still make the playoffs? I just heard the screams of all of my brain cells die.
Well, actually, hold up, maybe. Because we're going to get to this. We'll get to this when we talk more about the spring game.
Hey, we have this tradition here that we ask all of our guests, of which you are the first. So it's not a long-standing tradition. All right, well, I do want to be respectful of time. I told Ted we do.
We're having so much fun. We're having so much fun.
It's interesting because he said that the goal of the NCAA at this point is to just not get sued anymore.
Yeah, even after these last 3 years, we still represent hard. I mean, you got to rep your team, right? You know?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But the problem was that they weren't pulling in like Ohio State level recruiting classes, and this is a huge concern. But then Harbaugh goes and wins a national championship with a bunch of 3 stars, a handful of 4 stars, and then a couple of 5 stars. Because, yeah, I mean, Michigan really couldn't throw the ball at all because Chop Robinson's pass rush was just insane. I mean, that guy was awesome. He was everywhere, and he was giving Carson Barnhart all sorts of issues, and that's actually why Jerome Moore pivoted in-game to running 30 bajillion some odd times in a row.
Between Tom Osborne and Solich, they had like 30 years of just destroying everybody.
Yes. Yeah.
And now it's legal? I'm sorry. Was Jim Harbaugh like the biggest college football revolutionary ever?
I'll tell you this. No one willingly lives in Ohio. Case in point, Garrison here. My dear friend.
No comment.
Jim Harbaugh has just introduced a brand new era of college football.
Kalen DeBoer, in order to keep up with Nick Saban, all DeBoer has to do is win 6 national championships in 17 years to match Nick Saban.
Thank you.
Beautiful, man.
It was very nice.
I really appreciate it.
I could tell you wrote with, like, from the heart. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
It really meant something to you, and I can appreciate that.
I really appreciate you appreciating how much I appreciate this because it meant a lot to me. It was.
I appreciate that.
Mack, take us out.
This is the Big Ten Team Rivalry Show. Good night, everybody, and thanks for joining with us. Joining us, not with us. We're already here.
and J.J. McCarthy. Take the handoff. And Alec Manis is going to throw a pick. Oh, they give it to Cora. Up back. Cora. Touchdown, Wolverine. Ruben Wilson does it again. Cora finds some daylight. He's got some speed and some blockers. Outside. Turns the corner. Blake Cora down the sideline. Looking over the middle. Caught. Touchdown, Wolverine. McCarthy extends the play, now using legs. McCarthy a first down.
Woo! There we go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody doing out there? The big story this week, the removal of divisions from the Big Ten has lit a fire under some of the teams from the former West Division. They are just going like gangbusters over there, getting ranked and whatnot and beating people up. It is...
Except for Iowa.
Except
Not Iowa.
Iowa's not ranked, but they are doing well. Aren't they?
I mean, they lost to Iowa
Kinda.
State. They really should have won
That's
that game.
But they have already had a shutout this season, so that helps.
They have a shutout every season. That's nothing. Stop. Move on.
I'm trying to be positive here. Trying to give the Hawkeyes some hope.
They suck.
It is week 4 of the Pigskin Showdown and football season, as it turns out. Quite the coincidence, as they say around here. The Big Ten Brady Bunch is back, and we are here and ready to call the games for this weekend right here on the Big Ten Team Rivalry Show. Expert trash talk, unrivaled analysis, because it is team rivalry analysis. I am your host, Cliff. With me, as always, is Mack. Mack, how are you doing over there?
You know, it was a rough day. It was a rough weekend. Actually, it wasn't that bad. It was fine. But probably not as bad of a day as Davis Warren is having right now, so I think I'm all right.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Mac, you didn't let me know. Can we make our big announcement, or are we ready?
Oh, yeah, we're good. Make the announcement.
Good?
Do it.
It's good. Okay.
We're good.
So,
Right.
we are releasing something new today. We want to thank, and I don't know if he's out there or not, but hopefully he shows up at some point. Maybe he just hasn't entered the chat yet. Maybe he's got things to do tonight. I should have cleared this with him before I even brought this up, but here we are.
We're starting an OnlyFans.
No, Blue Wolverine has done quite a lot to support the channel. He has pretty much financed this channel from the get-go. We really appreciate it. He's actually a moderator in the chat, and we have decided to honor him in the membership setups. We now have a Blue Wolverine emoji, which, I should have gotten the big picture to put it up there. But Mac, can you throw the Blue Wolverine emoji into the chat there?
Maybe. Hang on.
Maybe.
Oh, it's not showing up. Oh, crap. Hang on.
Oh, no.
I have to... let me refresh. Refresh.
Go ahead and refresh.
Khalifa Mack.
Well,
all right, Nevada Buck. Calm down, buddy.
Well, Keegan's going at it. We got it?
Boom. Blue Wolverine emoji.
There we go. All right. So from now on in the chat tonight, if you want to honor Blue Wolverine, we'll probably throw that out there once in a while. You can throw that chat in the chat. You can throw that emoji in the chat if you're a member, which you can be for 99 cents a month. If you got a buck handy laying around, changing the couch, that kind of thing, give it to us. I mean, it's a buck. What else are you going to do with it?
Seriously, buy food for your family?
I mean, that's just kind of a weird thing to do, I think.
It's really stupid. We got to buy food for our families.
I know.
I need protein powder. Do you know how expensive that is?
What's that joke? Yeah. All the money you donate to this channel goes to a worthy cause. Us. All right. Let's get down to it here. It's enough messing around. We need to talk some football. But first, actually, I apologize. Before we get into that, we need to begin with the checkdown. I do have some stats to go over, and we are going to do that right here in the checkdown, where we give you the latest news and stats from the college football world and beyond. Mac, feel free to comment at will.
I will.
We start off with the Big Ten shutouts now stand at 8. 8 shutouts for the Big Ten this season so far after just 3 weeks of play. Illinois, Iowa, Purdue, Ohio State, USC, and Michigan State all have one shutout recorded already. And Minnesota has 2.
What? I didn't see that.
After losing their first game, they have shut out Rhode Island State and Nevada. And this weekend, they host the Iowa Hawkeyes. And that game is a virtual dead heat, which we're going to talk about. Right? Yes. Are you looking it up? Did I get it wrong?
There you are.
It is a shutout, right?
Good. Yeah, but you froze on me for a second because my internet is going crazy because Ryan Day keeps hacking me.
Indiana is still storming the castle. The Big Ten overall has a record of 36-9 after 3 weeks of football. 9 teams are still undefeated. 7 teams are ranked. And Indiana, while still unranked, is 3-0, leads the Big Ten in points scored with 150. That is a 50-point average for the Hoosiers, which is 40 more points than second place, which is Oregon, that only has 110. Indiana is just killing it out there this year. Kurt Cignetti turns out to be quite the good decision for the Hoosiers. Although I do feel bad for Tom.
Is Indiana America's team?
They might be. They might be this year.
I think Indiana's America's team.
I think they have to be, yeah.
I wish Rochelle liked football.
Rochelle
being from Indiana. Yeah, being from Indiana and all.
Our West Coast teams, the Big Ten expansion teams, are doing well overall. They have an overall record of 8-2, but the only team to play a conference game is UCLA, and they lost to Indiana.
They got blown out. Indiana putting up 42 points at the Rose Bowl is not something I saw coming. That's all I'm saying.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Washington learned an important lesson Saturday. Letting Kalen DeBoer go was a mistake. Wisconsin also learned an important lesson Saturday. Kalen DeBoer wins wherever he goes. I feel bad for Wisconsin. I thought I was pulling for Luke Fickell. I mean, I know he's a Buckeye guy, but still.
Yeah, but he's a human. He seems like a nice guy. So.
Sure, yeah. Michigan State, little bro is putting up some impressive numbers. They're 3-0 and recently obliterated Prairie View A&M. It's an FCS team. They're still not ranked, and many Spartans fans are still blaming Connor Stallions for who knows what. I don't know why, but they do. Illinois has entered the chat. As the kids are saying these days, they are ranked for the first time since November 12th, 2022. That's the good news. The bad news is they play Nebraska next week. Nebraska is also doing very well. Yes. The best stat of the week, though, this is the stat for the Michigan fans. Number 1, Georgia survived. Let me say that again. Number 1, Georgia nearly lost to unranked Kentucky. I don't know what the explanation is. I don't know if they're making excuses. I don't know if too many people were injured, but that is a bad night for Georgia. But good news for Michigan. The only team Michigan has lost to is now number 1 in the country.
All of Georgia's players are in prison.
That is true, too. Yes.
Yeah. They had another player get arrested last week.
They seem to get arrested on the regular, yeah.
What the heck, guys?
I don't know. It's craziness out there. This has been the Checkdown. If you like what you've seen so far, don't forget to smash the like button. And as long as you're there, slide ever so slightly to the left. Click the subscribe button. I actually was thinking we might have to change our intro because we are now up to 907 subs. And I made that intro. We were at 691. So that's pretty awesome. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed. We're hoping to get to 1,000 before the end of the season. Love every one of you guys for subscribing. Now we're going to kick it into Judge Mack. And in order to get that started, though, I need Keegan. I saw Keegan out there. Keegan needs to say all rise. So Keegan,
it's on you.
I got to give you 10 seconds for the delay. So I'm going to keep talking, but Keegan needs to tell us all rise so that Mack can start with his, well, it's not a lecture. It's Mack giving his opinion. It's a judge's opinion. Keegan, are you out there? He was out there earlier.
He was.
We may have to go on without him.
All right. Well.
All right. We're going to start. Okay. We now turn to Judge Mack for his latest opinion and judgment on the world of college football. please rise in unison.
You just froze on me again.
Did I? Oh, here we go.
There you are. Okay. All right. We're good. We're good. F it. All rise.
Thank you.
All right. Here's the deal. Here is the deal, folks. Alex Orji is now the starting quarterback at Michigan. And we knew this was happening. We knew this was coming. And I say, this really should have been what happened on day one, guys. Why wasn't he the starter way back against Fresno State? It's like I said, you and I were talking about this earlier, completion percentage was the metric that they were using to measure the quarterback by. And they wanted to get a completion percentage, or they wanted to put Davis Warren in because he had the better completion percentage. Except throwing was never Michigan's identity. Running the ball is. Running the ball is Michigan's identity. So if you wanted Davis Warren to be that passing game complement to the running game, then you actually had to have a running game to complement, and it wasn't there. So the fact that Davis Warren was being unsuccessful earlier in the season or against Texas and Fresno State, yeah, that sucks, but where was the running game? So now the running game gets established, and Davis Warren kind of sort of shows his true colors. It's that he's throwing interceptions all over the place. And yeah, maybe the pocket's collapsing a little quick, but that also means that Alex Orji is better capable of getting out of the pocket. He's got the legs to do it. So guys, in my honest opinion, Davis Warren really shouldn't ever have been the starter. And I love the kid, and I hate criticizing college football players. I'll criticize the coaches all day long. They make millions of dollars. I'm going to make fun of them. But I don't like making fun of the players. I don't like saying that the players are doing bad. But Alex Orji really should have been the starter from the beginning. That's just how this should have been. And that is my judgment, is that Sharon Moore kind of made a mistake here. But maybe it's a learning opportunity. And so with that, I would like to give my ruling, which is Sharon Moore is hereby found for now not guilty of being a total bonehead. But we're keeping an eye on him. We are keeping an eye on him. All right, I'm done.
You're done? All right. This has been Judge Mack. If you like Judge Mack, give the show a like, subscribe, tell Mack you like him in the chat, and whether or not you agree or disagree.
Please tell me you like me. I need all the validation I can get.
Otherwise, it's time for the Big Ten Brady Bunch. Are you ready for this? Here we go.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
There's a little bit of a delay on that. I'm not sure what to do with it. Okay, here we are in the Big Skin Showdown, and we're going to start bringing on our guests here as soon as I can get the camera thing back over. Let's see here. So this week, Big Ten Brady Bunch, a little bit smaller of a group than usual, but nevertheless, some fantastic football pundits are ready to be on the show here. We are going to start right at the top with Garrison. Garrison from Buckeyes. Sorry about that. I was looking at Pete and I thought Buckeyes. Right.
Oh, you're fine.
Scarlet and Blue Show. Garrison, give us the rundown. Who are you? Where can we find you?
Well, you can find me and Bryce at Scarlet Blue Show on Instagram, X, Facebook, and YouTube, of course. Scarlet and Blue Show, where Bryce is my one of my best friends, and he's the Michigan fan of the show. I'm the Buckeye. You can find me at Buckeye_Gaddy. That is Daddy with a G. Please don't call me Big Daddy Gaddy.
No, I'm going to from now on.
No, don't do it.
Well, Mac, with you and your new OnlyFans, I don't want you calling me that. But
yeah, I mean, unless you want to be on it, then you can be Big Daddy D all you want.
Oh, okay.
I even feel a little embarrassed about that one. Let's move on
now. Yeah. Everybody get some water.
I gotta mute myself. I gotta laugh.
Bring on the next guest.
All right. Well, while Garrison gets a hold of himself, let's wander over to Nebraska by way of Arizona. We have Justin. Justin, how are you doing?
I'm good. It's tough to follow up that intro though. So
it is, isn't it? Yeah.
No OnlyFans coming from my end, so no worries there. I'm here to talk football.
Excellent. Where can everybody find you?
Making that joke.
Yeah, you can. You can find me over at Nebraska Football at the Voice of College Football. You can also find me at the Big Ten Show at Big Ten Show on YouTube. We're actually starting that back up this week. Illinois versus Nebraska. My co-host on there is an Illinois fan. I'm, of course, a Nebraska fan. We're probably going to be doing a watch party of that game. So that'll be fun because
Nice.
I'm a different animal when I watch games, man. I get into them. So it's going to be fun. But yeah, if you want to check out any of that, go check out those two channels or _H-Town Husker on X.
Definitely. Yeah. Mack and I have done that a couple of times, live streaming the games and just, basically your living room conversation when you're watching a football game. It gets pretty exciting.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to tone it down a little bit. Otherwise, I might get demonetized by YouTube, but we'll do what we got to do.
Actually, before I bring on our last guest, Justin, how excited are you that Nebraska is ranked once again?
Listen, between my two teams, all right, I've been a Nebraska fan and a Texans fan, right? So it's been rough. Between the two teams, they're 5-0. I don't remember the last time that's happened. I'm on cloud 9 right now. This is one of the best years of my life so far.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
That's how we felt last year.
Yeah.
It's like finally.
Between Michigan and the Lions, last year was a fever dream.
Yeah, it was just a matter of being a part of two terrible cultures that flipped it around in a couple of years. It's kind of crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's bring on our last guest, who is also pretty much a regular on this show, Pete from Buckeyes Battle Cry. How are you, Pete?
I'm doing well. What's up, fellas? Good to be with you again.
Good to have you back. Where can everybody find you?
Yeah, of course, over on Buckeyes Battle Cry. Rob would have joined us tonight, but it's his 34th birthday, and so he's out celebrating with the wife, doing his thing, getting some good grub at a fancy restaurant and dining well tonight. So yeah, he's living it up tonight on a Monday night. So that's how you start the week right.
Oh, everybody drop a happy birthday to Rob in the chat. He'll see that when he watches the show later.
For sure.
That's pretty awesome. All right, guys, it is week 4. And we have had some interesting games so far. As we were just talking a minute ago, Nebraska is ranked for the first time in a couple of years. Ohio State obviously is killing it. Michigan is struggling. We've seen the former West Division teams are really, it's like there's a fire lit under them. They're playing better than I've seen most of them play in years now. Unfortunately, it may not matter because there's no divisions anymore. But we are going to go to our first game. Let's see if I can get my other camera back up here. We are going to head over to the Iowa-Minnesota game. Will be our first game to talk about. It is the Floyd of Rosedale rivalry. So it is our first rivalry game of the season.
Hey.
Yeah. And there's actually
you forgot Ohio State Akron. That was a big game.
Oh, that's right too. Yeah, big in-state rivalry there. Yeah.
About Akron.
Hey, my brother used to live in Akron.
He did?
They're close to Akron. Anyway, this is the 118th meeting of Iowa and Minnesota after their huge battle over that pig that one day. Actually, no, it's not a pig. It's a prize hog. That's what I'm supposed to say. Minnesota leads the series 63-52-2. They entered the Big Ten, as you can see there, in a virtual dead heat. The FPI has them as Iowa with a 50.4% chance to win, Minnesota with a 49.6% chance to win. They're both 2-1. Like I've said, I'm not sure the West Division has ever played this well. Who needs the win more is going to be the big question for tonight, and what's your pick? So let's start down there with Pete. Pete, who needs this win more, and what is your pick for this game?
My goodness. I have to lead off with probably PJ Fleck needing it more. I mean, he really has kind of let me down. Like, I know he's a very polarizing figure. Many like him and many despise him. But I like his enthusiasm, and he just brings that energy to the game. But he really is – they're on a downward trajectory in Minneapolis, and it's not looking good. And then, of course, Kirk Ferentz, how many years does the man have left in Iowa City? That's an interesting thing. So PJ Fleck, I think his career is kind of hanging by a thread and by balance there in Minneapolis. But yeah, I don't know. It's safe to say the Big Noon Kickoff will likely never visit this contest. Just not enough enthusiasm nationwide to tune in for this contest. But classic rivalry, of course, and pretty even. And boy, it's tough to wrap my head around this one. I lean Minnesota just because their defense has performed well. I know it's been against some smaller schools and universities, but I think I'm gonna go with Minnesota, probably with a slight edge and a low scoring, classic old Big Ten West matchup. Even though divisions are gone, I mean, I don't see either team getting above 20 in this one. So I'm gonna say 17-13 Gophers.
Oh, 17-13 Gophers. All right. Justin, let's head over to you. What do you got? Who needs the win more, and what's your pick?
Yeah, and I don't know if y'all have the over-under there, but I'm pretty sure I saw that it was under 40. So, yeah, you're right on with that one.
36. 36 and a half.
Oh, my God. That's worse than I thought.
Yeah.
Well, that might hit the over with your score then. So, but the thing about this is, right, is what Iowa's done well, right, is, of course, limited explosive plays, and they play within themselves. They don't allow turnovers. They don't beat themselves a lot. But this year, it seems like they have allowed a lot more explosive plays over the top. It's just something we're not used to seeing. That defense is very solid, usually keeping stuff in front of them. If they even bend a little bit, they typically don't break, right? They really are good at, hammering down, forcing turnovers when they need to, and executing well. On Minnesota's side, it's really hard to tell what Minnesota is coming out of that week 1 game against North Carolina. North Carolina's starting quarterback went out, but it is a week 1 game, against a power 4 whatever opponent, right? So it's a tough gauge there, but I don't think Minnesota has the explosive plays enough to really kind of strain this Iowa defense. I think this Iowa defense will have do a better job of keeping Minnesota in front of them and able to kind of limit their offense. And Minnesota hasn't shown me much on offense that proves to me that they can beat this Iowa defense where they're susceptible and where they have been this year. So as much as I hate to say it, probably got to side with Iowa in this one, but let's say 10-16.
All right, Garrison, you're up next. What do you got? Who needs it more? What's the score?
Oh, well, yeah, Fleck definitely needs it more. Current parents will never be fired from Iowa. They will never fire that man. He's going to be there as long as he wants to. But PJ Fleck, of course, as everyone else has said over the last few years, he struggled. He was really good at Western Michigan, very good the first year or two at Minnesota, but now it's dropped off. Just like Justin said, I don't know if Minnesota has the capability to beat or to get them over the top of them with explosive plays. But over the last few weeks, Minnesota's defense has played better than Iowa's. So, and I think Kate McNamara is trash. So I'm going to take Minnesota. This is so bad. Let's go 17-9.
This is about as hard as picking a presidential candidate in this election. Lesser of two evils, for sure.
You don't like either option.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I don't know. 9 for Iowa sounds like a pretty typical Iowa score to me. I swear it. Yeah. They have to do that a lot.
I think Minnesota or Iowa scores just as much points on defense than they do on offense. I could easily see that.
Yep.
I could see Iowa special teams being the difference, even though the special teams hasn't been as good as well. They gave up a punt return touchdown. So, but yeah, the FPI's got it right. This is about as balanced of a game as I think you can get.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say 17-9?
Yes.
Cross that.
Like that.
12-9.
No take backs. You can't do that.
I did already.
Score
was already in Penn, but I was able to cross it out.
Can give them 17 points in that game.
Are you saying no touchdowns in the game, Garrison?
I just no. I think those are two. I think they're really good defenses. I think they're really bad offenses. I think this is bad football.
Yep.
I saw a Michigan-Iowa game in the 80s. I believe I was at the game that ended 6-9 Michigan. No touchdowns, just all field goals.
There was a Nebraska-Michigan State game under Scott Frost in 2018. It was 9-6 as well. Snowing like crazy though, but 9-6 was the final.
I had to watch the whole contest.
Yes.
I had an OnlyFans joke somewhere with the 6 to 9 score, but
No, we're past that now. We're past
that.
9 to 6. All right, 9 to 6.
9 to
Yeah.
6. Yeah.
There we go.
All right, Mac, what do you got? Who needs it more? You're the PJ Fleck fan. Who needs it more?
I got a whole lot of
What's your
regret
pick?
is what I got. Why am I a PJ Fleck fan? He abandoned us.
Well, he did.
He
That's true.
abandoned Western Michigan.
I wanted to say what Garrison was talking about. That PJ Fleck was awesome at Western because he took you guys took them to the championship. We saw the championship at Ford Field. Just absolutely fantastic. That was their perfect season, right?
Yeah, 2016, perfect season.
Perfect season. And then he left, and Western has regretted it ever since.
Did they claim a natty that year?
No.
No, it was just the Mack championship. Yeah.
Hang the banners like UCF.
Did they win their bowl game that year?
No. It was close, but no.
Oh, okay. If they did, I would have claimed it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If they had won the bowl game, I would have been like, yeah, Western Michigan won the national championship in 2016 while I was there. Of course they did. What are you talking about?
Doreen.
Hey, Doreen.
All right, Mac. Who needs it more? What do you got?
Oh, who needs it more? Fleck probably needs it more, but I don't know. I feel like people are getting really upset with Kirk Ferentz right now. It's really funny. Kirk Ferentz is suspended for the Illinois State game, and the offense is just playing like gangbusters, like 40-0. When was the last time we saw a 40-0 beatdown for Iowa? I don't care if it was against an FCS team. Like, holy crap, man, that's great. And then Kirk Ferentz comes back, and they immediately regress to 19 points and a freaking loss with a last-second field goal against Iowa State. I mean, and yeah, they beat Troy 38-21. That doesn't exactly inspire confidence for me. I guess what's really confounding about this whole thing is the fact that Minnesota lost at home to UNC or to North Carolina, and they didn't really look good that entire game. But then come out and post 2 straight shutouts. And I understand it's Rhode Island and Nevada, but still, like, a shutout's pretty difficult these days. So it's just kind of this whole thing is just a little bit confusing. But it's at Minnesota, and I feel like they're the ones with the edge. So I'm going to take the Gophers. I don't think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be a 10-7 final, and I think that it's going to be because Minnesota has the ball last with like 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They're going to get the field goal, and then Iowa's going to be like, 2-minute drill? What? What do you mean 2-minute drill? I thought we were allowed 5 minutes with the ball. And that's all I got.
It's a sad day when the Nebraska fan is the only one picking Iowa.
Bro, I feel terrible right now. Why'd I do?
I was going to say, yeah.
Why'd you do that?
I'll be rooting.
I need to put this out there, too. Garrison said that Cade McNamara sucks. And, he's definitely not been having a good couple of seasons. But it's really funny because, I've always wondered what would happen if he and CJ Stroud were playing for like Michigan and Ohio State at the same time. And what would happen if they played that game, CJ Stroud versus Cade McNamara? Oh, wait, it happened and McNamara won. Suck it.
Oh, I forgot CJ Stroud was a defensive back and a linebacker. I forgot he played defense.
Didn't he not have his top receiver too?
Who?
Wasn't that when Jackson
we don't need to know.
Oh yeah, JSN didn't play.
JSN
didn't play all season.
Don't help him, Justin. Don't help him.
And he did have 397 yards that game too.
Ohio State doesn't have other wide receivers. What about those great running backs you guys said you had? And CJ Stroud being this amazing quarterback and Cade McNamara.
Like Donovan Edwards being a great running back.
You're outnumbered.
You think it's 2v2, but it's 3v2, baby. I'm CJ Stroud too.
No, I love CJ Stroud. I'm just saying that the point of that was not that CJ Stroud is a bad quarterback. He is a phenomenal quarterback, and I think an even better person. I really like him. But Cade McNamara doesn't suck, and Garrison can suck it. That was the point that I was trying to make.
Mac, did you give a pick for the game?
Yeah, Minnesota.
Oh, you're just picking Minnesota. You're not going to give a score?
I did. I said 10-7.
Did you? All right.
Yes.
I didn't write it down.
God, if that's 10-7,
there we go.
Iowa and Minnesota fans might not even watch that. That's going to be brutal.
I'm going to watch it just because I want to see like what happens. Like, who loses their mind first.
You?
Sure.
The fans.
Yeah.
The fan.
The fans.
All right, I want to. The next game was going to be Illinois, Nebraska, but I want to save that one. We're going to go to Kent State versus Penn State because this game, as you can see there, is the most lopsided game of the weekend. Penn State is still finishing up their non-conference schedule. It is the most mismatched game of the weekend, but that Bowling Green game. Talk about that for a minute. Will Penn State struggle in this game or blow out Kent State? Is this Bowling Green all over again? What's your pick? Should I start with Pete again? I'll start with Pete again. We'll just go back around the same way.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so Kent State gave up 65 first half points to the Tennessee Volunteers this last weekend. My gosh. I don't know if I've ever seen that. Like that's rough. I knew Akron was bad, but wow, Kent State is right there with them.
Mm-hmm.
Penn State, hopefully they'll bounce back. I mean, they've always struggled with consistency under James Franklin. They just have like they come out the gates some weeks and they're amazing. Then other weeks they don't look like the same team. And you know, Drew Aller, I don't know. I need to see more from him still. He needs to prove some things to me still. He played well versus West Virginia, but even then his stats were pretty pedestrian. I mean, he only threw 17 balls in that game. So yeah, I really need to see more from Drew and that he'll take that next step. But obviously this one's not going to be close. I mean, Penn State won't drop a 65 bomb on him in a half, but I'm willing to say Penn State will probably win 52-3.
52-3. Holy cow. All right, Justin, you're up. What do you got?
Yeah. Looking at the scores on the left side. Yeah. Tennessee actually did that. And I think they took their starting quarterback out like in the first half as well. I don't even think they were trying to blow them out as bad as they did. And they were still scoring points. So yeah, Kent State is really bad. Drew Aller, you know, like he said, hasn't thrown a ton. I think he had 20 passes last game. So, you know, a lot behind the run game, but I feel like he's been well in flashes. He looks a little bit better to me, improved again mechanically. I just feel like he's a little bit better. He's a little bit quicker on his decision making, albeit against, you know, the teams that he's played so far. Bowling Green doesn't really show us much, but that didn't inspire a lot of confidence. But yeah, Kent State gave up 400 plus yards to St. Francis, PA. I don't even know what that is, to be honest with you. They gave up 5.8 yards per play.
St. Francis is I went to St. Francis University. St. Francis of Assisi. He was a whatever. Yeah, a saint. He's a saint in the Catholic.
But I didn't know what the PA one was because I think St. Francis,
Pennsylvania,
Northern Iowa. Oh, okay. So it's a specific location one. Okay. So they have them spread out.
Yeah, he's the patron saint of Pennsylvania.
There was a St. Francis. There was a St. Francis that was also like in, I think played Northern Iowa earlier this season. I saw them come across. So this is the second time I've seen a St. Francis University. So, but yeah, like defense for Penn State allowed 24 points, 286 yards in the first half. They allowed less than that the entire game prior. I'm not sure what caused that. I'm not sure if they just came out a little bit less fired up. I don't know. I just really, it's hard to gauge where this Penn State team is at. But yeah, they're going to roll in this one. Defense is good. The running back do it 8.1 yards per carry, something like that, over 8 yards per carry. So, yeah, what's the spread on this? Do we know?
Oh, I should have looked at those.
A lot.
I think I have it pulled up.
Minus 49 at 49.
I'm going to say 51-3. Kent State covers.
I like how 3 points covers. Oh my gosh. It's amazing.
All right, Garrison, you got it together there. You were breaking up for a bit.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
You were losing
sorry.
All right, you're up next. What do you got?
So I'm a Drew Aller believer. I think Penn State's going to finish 11-1 on the continent on the season. I think the Bowling Green game, you know, sometimes you come into a game that you have there's a lot of passion around it. I mean, they honestly dog walked West Virginia in that game, and then the next week you maybe have a little letdown. I think that's what the Bowling Green game was. I think they're going to completely destroy Kent State like we all do. I think Drew Aller like mechanically looks better. Their offensive coordinator, he's they're throwing down the field now. Good job, Penn State. So I'll go. You said the spread was 49.
Yeah.
49. Yep.
I've been so wrong on these. I'm gonna go. Oh, Mac. I'm gonna go 40.
As if you didn't get enough of that from Bryce.
I know. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm gonna go 45-3.
45-3. All right, Mac. What do you got?
I've hated Kent State for a while now. I mean, I
right.
don't really know why. No, I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't really know why. They're crappy, and they've always been crappy. And like when I was at Western, like we would play Kent State every once in a while, and like even if we had a bad team, we would still trash them. So I don't know. I just think Kent State's just kind of dumb. But I mean, it's not going to be close. I'm going to call 65-0 just for the heck of it, because Kent State doesn't have anything, and Penn State's over here like, what do you mean we struggled against Bowling Green? So now all of a sudden they've got something to prove, whereas after West Virginia, everybody was like, oh, look out for Penn State. And now after Bowling Green, everybody's like, same old Penn State. You know, you never know what you're going to get with a James Franklin coach team. And yeah, to an extent that's true, but I would have expected the offense to be shakier than the defense. The defense looked like one of those things that you strain, you pour water into and you strain out, and the gold is there and stuff like that. Yeah, strainer.
Don't throw these technical terms at him, Justin.
Man, I went to Western. I can't handle all these big words.
At least saying Ypsilanti.
Ypsilanti. Colander. That was the actual name I was thinking. Thank you, Keegan. Colander is what I was thinking of. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Justin's over here like, I'm really smart.
Hey, that's what listen, I call them what they do. All right. Strainer. All right.
It's a strainer. Yeah.
There you go. Well, yeah. So 65-0 Penn State, because randomly, all of a sudden, Penn State, I feel like they've got something to prove, especially on defense. So yeah, I think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be bad, and I'm just going to go with a comical type of score just for the heck of it.
See, and you would think MAC teams would be Mac's favorite teams. You think the MAC conference would be Mac's favorite conference, but it's not. That just goes to show you there's no loyalty among like names.
The Mountain West is my favorite conference.
The Mountain West. It's fair. Yeah. I can understand that.
Defunct, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Hey, when does MACtion start?
It's usually
MACtion.
November, right?
Yeah, isn't it usually like October or November?
I
think it's
October and November.
That's my favorite time of the year, man.
Heck yeah.
I know. Tuesday and Wednesday night MACtion.
Yeah.
I love it.
Not to Mac's point though. I mean, like, what has Kent State ever done? Like, do you remember them for anything or any memorable player in their entire career or entire history? I think they got a tight end, don't they? Like a superstar tight end, but like Eastern Michigan at least has gotten their act together. Kent State in my entire life has never been relevant, even in their own conference.
I always forget they're in Ohio.
Right. No doubt. And then to Justin and Garrison's point, Drew Eller does look calmer in the pocket, so I'll give him that. He definitely has a calmer demeanor and doesn't have the happy feet that he certainly had last year. So he is improving. Yeah. I will give him that. I was a little hard on him.
Yeah, are you guys familiar with? Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, I was saying like Glenn Thomas, like our quarterback coach, he came over from the Steelers, of course, but he says calm feet equal calm mind, and so that's one of the main things that I try to pay attention to, because that'll tell you everything a quarterback's thinking and feeling. So,
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Anybody heard of James Harrison? I'm not sure who James Harrison is.
A freak. A freak.
Yeah. He was a walk-on linebacker from 1998.
Nice.
Did Antonio Gates go to Kent State? I feel like that's the tight end I'm thinking of.
He did, but for basketball.
Basketball. He played basketball there.
Oh yeah.
Antonio Gates played basketball for Kent State all 4 years and was a part of the 2001 Cinderella season.
Oh.
I thought maybe you were using flashes with the golden flashes with the Chargers for a second.
Well, okay, so after being told he would not succeed in the NBA due to his play style, he tried out for the San Diego Chargers and was signed as an undrafted free agent in 2003. He holds the Chargers' all-time record for receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns, and holds the NFL record for most touchdowns by a tight end.
Freak.
Pretty good.
Wow.
Just a freak athlete. The guy played basketball.
No, but
also,
Cliff, when you have a chance, YouTube James Harrison. Just YouTube him.
All right.
It's pretty
I'll do
scary
it.
to watch.
Yeah.
He's a large individual.
Also,
like Refrigerator Perry large? I don't know. Do you guys remember Refrigerator Perry?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I know what that is.
Well,
yeah.
I wasn't alive then.
All right.
Then.
I got
was
parents,
huge.
so I know.
All right. I saw Refrigerator Perry in, I'm pretty sure it was Super Bowl 16, Chicago against the 49ers. Pretty sure that's right. And at one point, he didn't move fast at all. I think he was, 6'6", 360 pounds or something like that. Just a massive guy. And he at one point somehow picked up a fumble and marched towards the end zone carrying, I believe, 4 guys.
Mm-hmm.
And just like Frankenstein, boom, boom. And then I think he was out for the next 3 or 4 plays because I believe he was exhausted at that point.
Yeah. I grew up Texans didn't exist till 2002, and the Oilers were sold by 95, and I was only 5 years old. So I kind of grew up liking the Steelers because Jerome Bettis was my favorite player. So there's nothing like powerful running backs. Like honestly, like Mike Allstott days, Jerome Bettis days,
yeah.
those were different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Julian Edelman also played for Kent State.
Oh, you're right.
Oh.
Yeah. But as a quarterback.
Yep.
Yeah, he was QB. Yep.
Yeah, because they ran a lot of trick plays with him. Well, not a lot, but occasionally getting him out and throwing some passes in the NFL.
All right. Yeah, there you go. Huh.
All right, our next game, we're going to backtrack here to number 24, Illinois versus number 22, Nebraska. Illinois just joining into the rankings this week. Both teams started the season unranked. Like we were talking before, Nebraska got ranked last week for the first time in 2 years, I think it is. No, was it 2 years, Justin?
I think 2019 was the last.
I'm sorry.
I think we snuck in the rankings and immediately lost it. And then 2016, this is the highest rank, I think, since 2014, actually.
All right.
Yeah. So
fun stats. Illinois is 98-26 in scoring against their opponents. Nebraska is 102-20 in scoring against their opponents. I am betting anything that ranking is on the line with this game this weekend. Who needs the win more, and what's your pick? And we're going to go ahead and start with Rob. I'm sorry, Pete. Sorry, man.
Wow, dude.
I ain't got the beard.
I
ain't got the beard like Rob. I've never been able to grow one.
It's Rob's birthday. Pete, what do you got, man?
Oh, good. Oh, man. Lincoln's going to be rocking for this one. I'm really excited for the Husker Nation. I mean, this is a fun matchup on Friday night. Like, I'm definitely going to watch it. Like, I'm tuning in for this ranked matchup. When Illinois knocked off Kansas, they got my attention. And obviously Kansas lost this last weekend to UNLV again. So that win is downgraded a little bit. But, but it's exciting to see both these teams ranked again for the first time in a little while. I know Illinois got ranked back in 2022. And they gave Michigan a tough run before they played Ohio State. The week before the Ohio State game. But in this contest, Dylan Raiola is the real deal. I mean, he's a stud. Like, he's coming along. He looks poised. He looks confident. And my goodness gracious, he's just fun to watch. Like, he's appointment football. I feel like you got to watch this guy and see what's he going to do next. And I haven't watched too much of Illinois, so I'm not really up on them a whole lot. But I think Nebraska and the home crowd is going to be on fire. I think they're going to put up probably a decent amount of points, although the Illini do have a pretty good defense from everything I'm gathering. But I am going with Nebraska in this one. I think probably Brett Bielema has a little bit more to glean from winning this game, just because Matt Rule has so much good juju right now. He's walking on in any restaurant and people are hooking him up in Lincoln right now. Like they are in love with that man. And I don't blame him because it's been a long wait. So I'm definitely excited to hear more about this matchup from Justin. But I am going with the Huskers. I think they probably do win it by I'd say about 10 points. I'm going to go 30-20 Huskers in this one. We'll see if it gets that high scoring, but that's what I'll go with for now.
Yeah, I agree with you on Matt Rule. He's one of those coaches. I keep watching him in the press conferences. It's hard not to like him.
Mm-hmm.
He just seems like a really decent guy. And obviously he's kicking Nebraska into gear, which looks really nice. All right, Justin, this is your show. What do you got? What do you got for Nebraska, Illinois, man?
So, and talking about the environment, like even the UTEP game, the Northern Iowa game, like those two games were even more electric than we've seen in the past. I went to the Colorado game, of course. That was the craziest game I've ever been to in any sporting event. And I went to that national championship game in Houston, Villanova versus North Carolina basketball, where Villanova hit that three to win. And I was there live, and that stadium was 100 times louder than even when that shot went in. It was insane from start to finish. Like my brain was rattling. So the energy is electric. And the way I see Nebraska and Illinois right now, I feel like they're two very physical teams, right? They both want to play a similar style. They both run a 3-3-5 defense where they run three down linemen, 3 linebackers, and 5 defensive backs. It helps them keep up with the spread offenses. So the thing about both offenses, they're going to understand the 3-3-5 defense on the other side. They're going to understand how to roll against it. I had the all-22 from Illinois versus Kansas. Illinois does stay in a lot of man coverage, and Nebraska does like to run a lot of wheel routes. Kansas also ran a ton of wheel routes. So it'd be interesting to see, though, if Illinois can stick with, the guys like Jalen Lloyd, Ja'Cory Barney, the 2 speedsters that we have, the 2 young speedsters, and getting them out on wheel routes. But then also you have Dell running up the middle. He's a freight train up the middle. We have 4 solid backs, but Dowdell's been running his tail off. He was a top 10 recruit in the 2023 class, or top 10 running back in the 2023 class, transferred from Oregon over. So a lot of talent there. But yeah, Raiola is just the Satterfield. I think his offense this last game against Northern Iowa had the most efficient in terms of finishing drives. I think Nebraska finished on 8 or 7 of their 9 drives, and one of them was that interception, and the other one was, I think, the last, run out the clock at the end of the game. The interception over the middle of the field was actually, Nebraska's wide receiver had the ball and it got taken away from them as they went down to the ground, but the Northern Iowa player had it when they went to the ground. So it wasn't even a bad decision by him. It was about a 50-yard throw, and they kind of both just came down with it. But Nebraska's defense is playing, unbelievable. K Ford rankings has them 3rd. I think Ohio State was 1st. Iowa was 2nd. And the front 7 is just unbelievable. There's so much experience on this defensive line. The one thing I do want to see Raiola get tested with in this game is I want to see how he goes up against a physical defense. What happens when he takes a couple hits? What happens when, he's not having a clean pocket the whole game, or he's having guys that are fast coming after him, guys that are bigger and stronger coming after him. I just want to see how he responds from that. And I think that'll tell us a lot about what to expect from him throughout this season into the Rutgers game, et cetera. But yeah, I think Nebraska is just a team that does what Illinois does in some ways, but more talented. And that to me will rule the day. Bielema has a standard there. They're a well-coached team. They're good defensively. They do have some experience, but a lot of new parts on that defense. Their linebacker number 28, watching him, he looks really good. Number 6 on the D line looks really good. Number 7 coming off the edge, number 7 coming off the edge. I think he might play a jack type of role where he kind of, bounces around to different positions. But I expect Nebraska to take this one. I thought it would open about 7.5. I think it opened at 8.5, but I expect Nebraska to win this by 10 or more. I think this game could be shortened. I think both teams might want to establish some kind of run offense, set up kind of the pass game from there. So I think that the possessions might be shortened. I think that might allow maybe Illinois to cover. But outside of that, I think Nebraska has just done a good job of controlling the game. And Northern Iowa was a great, like almost like Big Ten light matchup to Illinois, because they're a big physical team that likes to run the ball. They get in big, heavy sets, and they like to run the ball, and they have some big boys, over there. So it was a good test for the 3-3-5, considering you drop a defensive lineman and you change him with a defensive back. You don't have as much, muscle up front. So it's all about your scheme and how you can, dial up stunts. I think Nebraska wins this one. I'm going to say 31-21.
31-20. Now, I'm trying to remember. I know we had you on the show before the season started, and we were talking Nebraska as far as floor and ceiling and all of that. Have you changed your expectations as to what Nebraska can achieve this year based on these last couple of weeks?
I still have the projection at 8 wins. I had 8 wins as kind of like my realistic prediction, and then 9 to 10 wins was my ceiling. A couple of games have gotten more difficult the rest of the schedule. I predicted these 3 wins, but Indiana's looking a little more difficult. USC is looking a little more difficult, but then a couple games are looking easier, Wisconsin and Iowa. So I think if I adjusted, I would go to maybe 9-3, but I want to see how we do in the Big Ten play before I adjust that. So I'm going to stick with 8-4 right now, but ask me after this game, and then I'll be able to tell you.
All right.
For sure.
All right, Garrison, it's over to you. What do you got?
Well, Justin, let me help you out here. I'm about to go full bore. We're about to have a Dylan Raiola coming out party. I love it. I think Illinois is a good team. I think they are. I think they'll be in the game for most of it, maybe 2.5 quarters, maybe 3. Since Raiola was a freshman, again, like we've talked about him moving around and all that, but I've always said, he's the one. I'm sad that he's not a Buckeye. I am. I wish he was. But when I looked at Nebraska's schedule this year, I thought, okay, they'll probably get like 8 to 9 wins. I've stayed around. I'm more around 9 now. I think there's a world where they go into 11-1 also. And I think he's going to go out. You're talking 8 p.m. Game, correct? Also, I saw Burge Warner said this about Nebraska has the best fan base in college football, period, and maybe in sports.
Appreciate it.
They are very kind people. They know football. They love their team. I don't think anyone this comes from a Buckeye. We don't love our team as much as they do. So kind of like I don't believe like I'm a Cowboys fan. I don't love my team as much as my mom loves her Lions. But being a Cowboy sucks. I might put myself in the transfer portal and be a Steeler or a Houston Texan.
Let's go.
But
Lions will take you.
No.
Oh.
No.
All right.
I saw Jared Goff like that on Sunday.
You throw the ball 55 times. See how you do, buddy.
I can't. But But I think we're gonna get Raiola's first 300-yard game on a really good defense. I think eventually, man, when you got someone that special, you can only hold them down for so long. I mean, you look at what we do with Jeremiah Smith. It was only a matter of time, and he did it game 1. I think we're now 3 games in. I'm very confident that they're going to cover. And plus, I already bought my ticket to the Ohio State-Nebraska game, and I want them undefeated going to the horseshoe. So
that would be crazy.
Oh my gosh, that place would be packed to the brim.
I don't like our odds, but still be crazy.
Oh man, you got Dylan Raiola coming back to Columbus. You guys are going to show up. You guys travel. So give me Nebraska. I said coming out party. Give me Nebraska 30, Illinois 17.
I like it.
Nice. I got to do a couple of things here. First of all, Asia Pash Doreen became a member. Thank you very much, Doreen. Appreciate it. You are now on the team. You are now a trash talker.
Welcome to the family.
And Blue Wolverine is out there. Super chat $9.99. Thank you very much.
All
Get a quick shout out for his son Micah, who is 11 and is watching with me. Hey Micah, how you doing out there? Go Blue, Micah.
How's it going, Micah?
Micah, when it's time for you to go to college and play sports, let me know. We'll get an NIL fund ready for you to go beat Ohio State Buckeye.
Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him, Micah.
Hopefully, Micah Hopefully, Micah didn't hear the jokes in the beginning of the show.
Right.
Oh crap!
man.
Yeah.
Dude,
Well,
Where's this
Blue
money
River-
coming from?
No, he wasn't in yet.
He wasn't in the chat yet, so I think we're good.
Oh man, I've had like 5 more chances to make jokes, and I just let it go.
One of these days, we'll have to do Team Rivalry After Dark or something like that.
No, this is a family-friendly show, and I love it. So,
Dude,
I
an
don't know if I can
After
handle
Dark
it.
version. An After Dark version of this show would be nothing worse than something you'd see in a Pixar movie, because I don't think that either of us could make a dirty joke with a straight face again.
wait, by the way, Cliff, did you get a haircut?
I did.
Oh, okay, I noticed it. Yeah, I noticed it from
Yeah.
Belgrade.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got. I know when I need to get a haircut because I have to actually start combing my hair. As soon as I have to comb my hair, it's time for a haircut. It's just how I do things. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm over here with the ponytail.
Mine's I'm hanging on for dear life here.
Yeah, I got on the front there. I'm getting a little thin there, but we do what we can. Mac, you're up next. What do you got? Nebraska, Illinois. Kick it.
I just want to point out that Jackson Johnson says that Big Ten Team Rivalry Show After Dark sounds like an excellent idea. I'm just saying.
Jackson knows.
I'm joking. I promise I'm joking. Anyway.
We all know that Jackson would support it too. He would put the URLs everywhere because he's the guy. He can put those URLs up faster than anybody else I've ever seen.
I don't know that I could possibly say anything to add to the conversation here. I mean, obviously Nebraska is going to win this, but it's going to be the Kentucky mud flap.
The ponytail.
Whoa.
What? Is that what they're called?
It's like, I got to get rid of her.
Get the scissors. Get the scissors.
Better.
Oh, well, I don't know.
No, I mean, it's not really, but I was trying.
No, it's not. I appreciate it, though. Thanks,
Being a
buddy.
nice guy.
Yeah. We'll fix that, I don't know, some other time. Yeah, I don't know. What could I possibly say? I mean, these are two phenomenal quarterbacks that are going to battle here. Nebraska's got a heck of a defense, but Illinois has actually got a pretty decent, resume so far. I mean, beating Kansas, a nice little win against Central Michigan. I can't remember who EIU is. Is that Eastern Illinois? But that was a shutout.
Yeah.
So
I could say they have a decent resume and not even know the team.
It was one team.
I'm playing.
One. The point was
Justin's on your head.
Fact check.
Go ahead. Sorry.
You can't get away with anything on this show.
No.
I was enjoying the positive stuff. And now, go ahead.
You can insult my hair, but as soon as you bring up the fact that I don't know an FBS team,
I'm
too far, buddy.
FCS.
FCS.
Yeah, FCS.
Well, see, I don't. This is what I'm saying.
Words are hard.
I mean, it's.
Well, technically that's an acronym, Justin, but
Yeah, acronyms are hard. Too.
what were you saying, Matt?
There was a joke.
I gotta
on
go.
color, but we got
Good night, guys.
He's dead. Micah
No,
says
Nebraska's-
good night.
Good night, Micah. Nebraska's going to win. It's going to be probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 28-10. I think Illinois has actually got a pretty solid defense, but I think Nebraska's on a mission. And I was trying to look for something from Nebraska's resume to be like, oh yeah, I mean they've got a definitively good win here, but they've got several good wins. Except the Colorado win, I wanted to be a little bit better than it is. Colorado, I feel like, is not who they were last year on offense. So, because Colorado is not really putting up the types of numbers that they were, but they still have a lot of really good athletes on offense. So maybe the fact that Nebraska held them to 10 points, I mean, that's still kind of a big deal. Excuse me while I do my hair here.
It's like those TikToks where they never mind.
I was going to ask what, but I feel like I should.
No, those TikToks where they give life advice while they're doing their hair or whatever. I don't know what the connection is, but it happens all the time.
Yeah.
Team Rivalry.
I don't have TikTok.
Team Rivalry fashion time. That's what you're gonna do now.
Yeah, Team Rivalry fashion show. Here we go.
Get ready with me, Mack.
So Nebraska, Illinois.
Nebraska 28, Illinois 10. I think it's going to be similar to the Colorado game, but I think that Illinois, I think that Illinois is probably going to score faster than Colorado did, but not more than Colorado did. But I agree with what everyone else has been saying so far. I think that was great analysis. For me, I think it just comes down to Nebraska's on a mission, and quite frankly, Ohio State hasn't played anybody. So if Nebraska is 7-0 going into Columbus,
and that's coming after the Oregon game,
and
before the Penn State game, it's crazy.
Yeah, and here's the thing: I'm not even saying that as a Michigan fan. Like I want to believe in some false hope that Nebraska's got a shot against Ohio State. If Nebraska goes into Columbus, and Illinois counts as a ranked win here because they're ranked, that's kind of a big deal. Like Nebraska going into Columbus ranked and undefeated. I don't know, guys. Like that could be a good game.
Yeah, the momentum would be crazy.
Yeah,
it's fun because in years past, we've seen some big time Ohio State Nebraska matchups, and they ended up being just absolute decimations and destructions. But this Nebraska team is different. They have a spine. Like I think the only team that's going to challenge them truly before the Ohio State game is probably Rutgers. And
me too.
I think Shiano's putting together a good squad there, but there's a very good chance they're going to be 7-0, and I will look forward to that. And I will, it's not going to be like the years of the past, the 63-10s and the scores we've seen. It's not going to be like that.
Yeah.
To your point, on the Colorado game, right? And I understand the second half left a lot to be desired. Really got conservative with the play call in the second half, but there was flags all over the field. Like there was no rhythm possible because they were throwing flags left and right. But also Matt Rule, he hears about that stuff, right? And he said if it gets boring in the second half, that's called controlling the game. And that was kind of his mantra on it. So I don't really necessarily think he's trying to put up style points. I think he's just trying to go out there, win, execute, get some young guys some reps. Week 1 against UTEP, I think we had 11 players get carries. It's just I think that's just the way he does it. He just wants to go out there, control the game, get his guys out there, get the young guys playing time because he says you get better at football by playing football. And last week too, Micah Mazuka, one of our better offensive linemen, was out. He'll be out for this game. He's not injured or anything like that. Supposedly there was a spat on the sideline with Coach Donovan Morello, the O-line coach. So he'll be held out of that. But that's really the only thing. I think Ty and Nash up front are just a little too much for a lot of teams.
And I'll finish off with saying, like I've been writing checks all offseason, and one of them was I think Dylan Raiola by the end of the year will be if not the best, a top 3 Big Ten quarterback. So I really, really want him to be good.
Me too.
Same with Davis Warren.
Davis Warren is one of the finest quarterbacks we have. No,
you get me. You get me, Mac. You get me.
He's a good man. You guys know his backstory. Like he beat leukemia. Like that's a really cool thing.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. I was phone my buddies earlier. I said, dude, listen. Abe's a great kid, and I think he's a very strong, powerful kid. But this is football, and if I hear that story one more time.
John Mechie did the same thing, and he wasn't even dressed out yesterday. We can't be giving sympathy points for that. Football.
Win it on the field, man.
That's why you can't take me nowhere.
Justin's over here like, I don't care what your white blood cell count is. This is football.
Exactly. There's money to be made.
That's a medical joke. Well done.
Thank you.
No, but
you know how I know that? Wait, you know how I know that is because this is funny. Is because my doctor told me that I might have cancer at one point. So I was being checked out for leukemia, and I asked him like, what are the signs? What are we looking for in the blood work? And he's like, well, if you've got too high a white blood cell count, and that for some reason has stuck in my mind, ever since I had that. I'm fine.
Mhm.
But
Good.
I didn't end up having leukemia, but it was really funny to have a conversation about that. And that's the only thing that stuck with me was white blood cell count. Interesting. Okay.
You would have lost the ponytail.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair. Mm-hmm.
Can't have that.
No.
Can't have that.
Would have
All
gone
right.
bald a lot faster. Of course, I'm getting there. Thanks, Dad.
Actually, when it comes to genetics, usually the son gets the mother's father's hair.
Yeah, that's bad news on mine.
Oh no.
All right.
The mother's father's hair.
Yeah, grandpa on your mom's side. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, is
Grandpa
that how that
Adams.
works, Justin? I didn't realize that that's what he meant by mother's father.
Yeah,
Didn't
I
realize-
mean, I simplified it. for you. I figured that would be a struggle. I mean,
Yeah, that was a struggle for me over here. I'm just
Yeah.
like, how the heck does genetics work? I don't understand. Or biology? I mean, storks and
yeah,
makes no sense.
I know.
So you can tell by the slide that we actually have another game to go to.
We ended up.
Yeah, shut up, Justin.
I didn't bring up Davis Warren.
Nobody will the rest of the season, too, by the
I was
way.
having fun talking about Nebraska for once in my life.
Oh man.
Ouch. All right, Marshall, the powerhouse Marshall is coming in to play number 3 Ohio State at the bowl. What do we call that now? What do you guys? The shoe. You guys call it the shoe. We call it the bowl. We call it the toilet bowl.
No.
But anyway,
The cathedral of college football.
oh, you mean the bathroom for the
Let 'em know.
cathedral of college football? The toilet? No, I'm sorry.
A horseshoe isn't a bowl.
No, but it is.
It looks like a bowl.
And it's not
You're
yellow
right.
blood
You're-
stain like the
shaped like
maze
one.
out.
Isn't yours more of a
Your
bowl
stadium
than
is in fact a
anybody's?
bowl.
It looks like a toilet bowl. It looks like the seat
Michigan
of a
called
toilet.
the-
looks like a
called the
toilet
seat.
bowl.
It looks
So
like
Marshall
I don't know.
is going to play Ohio State. Number
Michigan's
3
an
Ohio
oval.
State. While Georgia and Texas have been leapfrogging for first place, Ohio State is still stuck in the non-conference schedule. Actually, Garrison, you mentioned, I think, on your show, on Scarlet and Blue show, about the earlier, maybe it was Bryce that was talking about the early bye weeks. And it is strange to me. I know they have to have the bye weeks, but I don't understand why they scheduled a bye week in the middle of the non-conference season. That just seems like a strange time. I wouldn't think Ohio State would want it then.
It is, and honestly, when Bryce and I were talking about that, I skipped Marshall. I went straight to thinking about Michigan State. I forgot we had them on the schedule. So
Yep. Well, as usual, the Buckeyes are destroying their opponents. Basically, what we want to know on this one, well, we lost Mack.
He had enough.
I think he returned to his corner.
He's the Davis Warren.
Here we go. Mack, you all right over there?
What happened?
I don't know. You disappeared.
You tell us.
Oh, well, okay, I lost connection, but then when I came back up, I was the only one on here. So I was like, what?
What is happening? I'm moving
Everybody leave?
around. Everybody's gone. So my question for this game is, how early in the game will Ohio State close this one out? We've got Marshall actually has a better chance to beat Ohio State than Kent State did to beat Penn State. But here we are, 3.1% to Ohio State's 96.9% chance to win, according to the FPI, which I know a lot of people don't like, but I'm using it anyway. We're going to start with Pete. Pete, when will this game be closed out, and what's your pick for the game?
Yeah, this one's gonna be over early as well. I mean, shoot, it's embarrassing when Marshall is our best non-conference opponent with 6 wins last year. I mean, like, that's just like pathetic. I know we had Oregon scheduled and they became a conference member, so that game got scrapped. So that's kind of what happened with Ohio State's non-con this year. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty ugly. AJ Turner is their tailback. He's apparently averaging 15.9 yards per carry. So no lie, 14 carries, 222 yards. So respect to him, but he will not average 15.9 against this Ohio State defense. Caleb Downs and the Buckeyes are coming to play. It's. I mean, I don't know why Big Noon Kickoff's coming to town for this one. To be completely honest, I know the Ohio State fan base turns up for every game, and that's probably why. But the ratings aren't going to be great for this one. But Ohio State is, looking to continue with Will Howard, Quinshon Judkins, and Travion Henderson leading the attack. And I think Jack Sawyer is going to have a monstrous game. He's going to have probably a couple sacks against a really overmanned and overpowered offensive line from the Thundering Herd. And we're all going to turn on We Are Marshall and probably watch that more than this game. So Buckeyes are going to win big time. I mean, it's 56-10. I'll put it that way, 56-10.
I love that clip from We Are Marshall where he says, and on paper, they're just better. What kind of a speech is that?
A real one. Speech that you get for this game.
Yeah. All right, Justin, you're up next. What do you got?
Yeah.
When will this game be closed out, and what's your score?
It'll be closed out 15 minutes left to go in the first quarter. I'm pretty sure it's already closed out.
The coin flip, maybe.
It's nice of Ohio State to get like extra few weeks of fall camp here and really iron things out before we get into before they go into Big Ten play. But yeah, Marshall, offensively they run the ball. Defense isn't great. Pass defense is better than the run. It doesn't matter. Ohio State's gonna roll in this one. It's not gonna be remotely close. I don't know the spread on this one, but I'm assuming Ohio State's gonna cover whatever it is.
Favored by 40.5 right now.
Yeah, they're gonna cover that by a lot. So yeah, I'm gonna get. Are we guessing scores in this one too?
Yeah, why not? It's fun.
63-7.
Ouch. It was asked a few years ago, I think, how close do you think we are? I apologize for the interruption. How close do you think we are to when we will actually see a 100-point game? And I mean one team scoring 100 points.
Games are too shortened with the media timeouts and all that. I feel like they've just really shortened it. The plays are lessened year over year. So
yeah.
South Alabama dropped 87 on some poor university this last weekend, but yeah, it's probably not going to happen.
Well,
Yeah.
Tennessee done it, but they took everybody out, which obviously they should have. I don't know that anyone's going into a game thinking, yeah, let's score 100 points.
I see what you did.
Oh, I didn't even mean to do that, but you're right.
Dang it.
I didn't think you did either. I was thinking it too, though, Garrison.
Yeah.
Give him
You said that, and I'm like,
joke.
what are you talking about? No, yeah. No one, but I don't know. They also went for an onside kick up 30-0.
They sure did.
What a jerk move.
Absolutely.
yeah, Tennessee fans are like, we had our backup quarterback. You onside kick 30-0. Let's stop.
Ouch. All right, Justin. I'm sorry, Justin. Garrison, you're up next. What do you got?
Well, look, man. So far this season, it's been hard for me to talk on the or like my show about Ohio State. There's not much to say about it. It's a nice little preseason. Ohio State by 1,000. I mean, I said Ohio State won't give up a touchdown in their first 3 games. I said first 4 games, but it looks like Michigan State can score now. So, no, I think Ohio State wins this game around 60 to. I'll give the Thundering Herd 9. I'll give them 9, but I don't see any chance this is even fun to watch. I think you'll see to answer your question. I think you'll see guys or it'll be wrapped up by start of the second. It'll be over with quick. By the way, Pete, you said something that was just music to my ears. Caleb Downs and that defense. I live in a world where that's said. It's so fun. But yeah, but I think it's a good game before you'll get guys rested before the Michigan State game. I think we're gonna blow them out too, but you don't know how that game is gonna look. Yeah, no, it's Marshall.
And you said
sorry.
60 to 9 to 60. Yeah.
Yeah, 9 to 60. I
didn't realize.
No, go ahead.
I didn't realize the Michigan State game was so early. That's usually in October, isn't it?
Yes.
I know Michigan usually plays them late October.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
But I thought they played Michigan State early. But I guess the schedules they're all messed up now, or they're not messed up. They're changed now because of adding the new teams and all of that. Do you think
I can't wait to play them? Oh, by the way, if there was a time someone could have scored 100, we could have scored 100 on Michigan State in 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
That
is
was the
true.
most, that was the most perfect half of football I've ever seen in my life. Like,
No
so
lie.
I was kind of pissed off because I was kind of pissed we called the dogs off. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was mad about that.
You guys beating Michigan State is why Michigan ended up going to the Big Ten championship too.
You guys know Pepino's,
Yeah.
the pizza spot, and
Yeah.
only in West. Yeah, well, yeah,
Yeah.
it's in West Michigan. So I remember in 2021, I watched the Ohio State Michigan State game that day. There was a bunch of Michigan fans in there, and that was the week before we played you guys, and you should have saw their faces. All those Michigan fans are pissing their pants, and next thing you know,
Michigan wins.
Hassan Haskins.
hey, stop cussing on this show, Mack.
All right, Mac, we're going to you. You wanted me to put up.
Yeah, just put that
This.
up for me. I just need to point this out. This is an architectural rendering of the original design for Ohio State Stadium. You can see pieces of crap there in the middle.
That's Michigan.
I'm not laughing.
That's
All right.
Cade McNamara in the middle.
Hey, McNamara beat them.
He's still shit.
Okay.
Just saying. I think we established that one already.
I think we have. All right, Mac, what do you got?
What are you taking his side for, Dad? Come on. All of a sudden, this is 4v1 with a Michigan fan, a part of the 4. What's going on here?
I'm bringing drama to the show. This is for ratings.
Like Shannon Sharp.
Yeah.
Sure,
Right.
there you go.
Don't leave your Instagram on live.
Who just
Next.
accidentally goes on live Instagram?
I have no idea how that happens. I
Like,
think Shannon Sharp was trying to disprove the rumors there.
oh.
If you don't know the rumors I'm talking about, I'm not going to say them because you might get demonetized. But
Not monetized yet. Or wait,
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
that's-
never mind. We are.
No, we're
Shut
not.
up.
No, we're not.
no, I'm
No,
not,
wait.
well, technically 500.
Yeah, we've got the first part of monetization. We're going for the second.
Right.
If my channel survived, I think you'll be okay.
Okay, there we go.
All right. All right.
I mean, yeah, it's going to be like Ohio State. I don't know. I'm going to call it 63-0. I just feel like, Marshall got blown out by Virginia Tech, and Virginia Tech's not good. So I don't see that Marshall could even put up a touchdown in this game. But I need one more thing. I don't ever want to hear another Ohio State fan complain about Michigan having a cupcake non-conference schedule. Marshall, Akron, and Western Michigan.
Hey, like I said, that's why I say we had Oregon, but then became a conference member. They were scheduled.
Why didn't they just
Okay.
run it as a non-con game like what was the other one that was like that?
Oh, that was this past week.
Was it Air? No, it wasn't. I'm
It
trying to
was
remember.
someone in the
what that
Big
was.
12, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. And it was scheduled as a non-conference game, and then they're in the same conference now, but they just don't count it as a non-con game.
I
It's
think
weird.
you were right. It was it was Arizona, Kansas State.
I think it might. Yeah, it was. It was.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know why they just didn't do it like that. Interesting.
I would like that.
Well, in any case, you guys have a cupcake non-conference schedule this year. I don't care how it happened, but you do. So, but also you have a phenomenal team, and you're allowed a cupcake non-conference schedule. If you can schedule a cupcake non-conference schedule, freaking do it, because then you've got 3 warm-ups before you finally hit Big Ten play. I mean, if Michigan can do it and win the Big Ten 3 times in a row, maybe Ohio State can give it a try. It seems like Ohio State's trying to be Michigan in so many different ways now. I mean, might as well try the scheduling tactics too.
Pete, have you ever seen Ohio State win the conference 3 times in a row?
Oh yeah, multiple times.
Oh, me too, brother. Me
like
too.
7 straight under Tress.
Yeah.
It's an uphill battle when you're battling Ohio State, who's been the most consistent team throughout college football history, though. So,
I'm aware, but it's our
Yeah.
freaking show.
True.
Good point. Good point.
There really is an argument though that's going on between college football fans. I see this on blogs all the time of like with the 12-team expanded playoff,
They're all going to
what's
cupcakes.
the better scheduling argument? Schedule a bunch of cupcakes and so you have more wins at the end of the season, or schedule harder teams. I am fully of the mind. Give me a Texas, give me a Alabama, give me a Georgia, like Ohio State has in the upcoming years. We have all those three programs.
Yep.
Doing home and aways.
It's not fun.
And I think the Chicken Littles that just wanted to schedule these little cupcake games just to secure maybe 1 or 2 spots higher. No, I want to learn about my team. I want to see what you got.
Like the SEC playing FCS opponents in the 10th week.
Kills me.
This is the changing landscape of college football, right? So they used to schedule these non-conference cupcake teams so that teams like Akron or Eastern Michigan could actually get, or Eastern Illinois and all those could actually get some national exposure. And the whole idea was, and money, and it was also so that they could get their school's name out there so they might get more students.
Mm-hmm.
And now with the way the college landscape is, we're no longer regional. It's no longer about winning your conference. It's about winning the nation. And I would not be surprised if we find at the end of the season that we are going to start looking at the super conference, the SEC and the Big Ten creating their own league, and then having 40 teams, and then however they work that out, so it has more of an NFL look to it. But it's.
I think you're right.
Mac, did you give a score?
63-0. But is it just me, or does that actually kind of sound preferable?
Which one?
What, cupcakes?
No, the super conference and kind of making it more like the NFL.
Now,
yeah. I mean, I've said this for a while. That I think what should happen is the super conference with the SEC and the Big Ten kind of looking like the AFC and NFC, and then you've got your what are they called? Group of 5 conferences, but it's like group of whatever now.
It's group of 4, unless the Pac gets 2 more teams, then they become a conference again.
Oh, well, good for them. But that would be like the next level down. So it would be like relegation then. I think that would be amazing. I would love to see relegation in college football. I think that would be super cool. Because then all of a sudden, like me as a Western Michigan fan, I could be cheering on Western Michigan because they're trying to get, relegated to, the top division. Like that would be so cool. Yep. And that suddenly gives meaning to all of these teams that are, in the group of 5, the group of 5 conferences who are, they don't have a snowball's chance in Los Angeles at making the CFP. So,
No, Mac, I like that idea because there's like a few teams in the Mac that I thought could have had success over the past 20 years in the Big Ten. Like, man, I don't want to butcher the year. It might have been like 2008, 2009 when Central Michigan had Antonio Brown and Dan Lefebvre at quarterback. I think that team could have won games in the Big Ten.
Jordan Lynch at Northern Illinois, Garrett Wolf at Northern Illinois. Yeah, they had some good squads.
Oh, Woofy.
Garrett Wolf gives me nightmares.
He was
He tore us up. He did.
I think he had like 320 total yards.
He
was a monster that game against the Buckeyes for sure.
He was a monster his whole career, man. I remember that guy.
He was fabulous. Good players out of the MAC for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I think I don't know. I think I still want to see it stay. I'm partial to the old style. Big 12. Wasn't around for the Big 8, but Big 12 and stuff like that. So the more it changes, the more I don't know. It doesn't sit right with me. Just the further away from that it gets.
Mm-hmm.
I can totally respect that. I think the biggest reason why I'd like to see it change to like relegation with the AFC NFC model is that it completely does away with subjectivity.
Yeah.
So the eye test, the resume thing, no longer relying on the CFP. You've either got the wins or you don't. And that to me is just sort of like a purer system.
Yeah.
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 And I don't know what happened, but I'm looking at ESPN's matchup predictor. And so when I pulled this thing yesterday, it was 3.1 to 96.9.
We had a King of the Hill moment. Yep.
Yep. It shifted to 3% for Marshall and 97% for Ohio State. So I don't know if somebody decided not to play or what.
So you're telling me? Let me adjust.
Can I take back my call? Marshall, 60-0.
All right, our last game for the evening. Michigan versus the University of Spoiled Children.
Can we talk about anything else?
No, we have to talk about this. This
I don't
game is
want
huge.
to. I don't
Lots riding
want
on
to.
this game. Michigan dropped a spot this week to number 18. USC moved up 2 spots to number 11. Michigan has a new starting quarterback. It was announced today that Alex Orji will be QB1 for the USC game. Oddly enough, I looked at the stats, and it seems like these teams are actually fairly evenly matched according to the numbers, not according to the eye test and anything like that. I just mean strictly looking at numbers, except USC has the win over LSU. Michigan obviously does not have the win over Texas. Michigan desperately needs this win. USC is playing on the road, but again, they beat LSU on a neutral field. So we're looking at what's your pick, and just for funsies, what happens to Michigan if they lose this game, since this is a Michigan show. And we're going right back to Pete. What do you got?
Did you have to ask that of Buckeye fans?
I do. I'm sorry.
Why? Are you
It's just that kind of season.
What are you doing?
We had 3 really good years. We are the reigning national champions.
Okay,
Hold
Steve
on to
D.
that comfort blanket.
I am. I'm holding on to it real tight.
No, but
Yeah,
no, it's gonna be
I
interesting.
figure.
to see.
Okay, wait a minute. I figure if I'm nice to the Ohio State fans, it won't hurt as bad when this season doesn't go the way we want it to.
They're still coming after you.
Trust me, Bryce will get it way worse than you will.
All right,
There
good.
you go. Let them have it. This could be interesting to see if Alex Orji can energize the team. If they respect him as a leader, that could potentially make a difference. If the locker room is truly behind him. To me, from an outsider's perspective, and even reading through comments on MGO blog today, it seems like this is just going to be more of the same. Alex Orji is probably not going to be any better than Davis Warren, in my opinion. And he doesn't inspire confidence in me based on what he's done. His deep ball, I don't know. He's got to be consistent with his footwork. Like I said in the first show we had, like his footwork is very poor, and it needs a lot of attention to detail. And I'm surprised Jim Harbaugh didn't coach that out of him while he was still on staff. But this is gonna be interesting because Miller Moss, I think, is gonna have a big game. He's I don't think he'll have any fear. I think he'll go right at Will Johnson, just like Fresno State's quarterback did. But obviously with a heavy dose of picking on Jair Hill or whoever's at cornerback 2 as well, I think they're going to have their way offensively again. I don't think Moss will have as good a day as Ewers statistically, but I think USC scores more points than the Longhorns did because they kind of caught off the dogs in the fourth quarter, if I'm being completely honest. And, man, I don't think Michigan's offensive fronts can be able to have their way. I don't think whatever's going on, whether it's the center being switched out, Gaitis and Crippen, they need to figure out and stick with one person. It seems like Crippen is the only one who is orchestrating the offensive line better. So I'm not sure why he's not getting more snaps than Gaitis is. But overall, the offensive line needs to gel. They need either hit the weight room or have their balls drop because they are not pushing people around. And it's not the team of the last 3 years. And they need if I was the offensive line coach, I'd straight up be calling them out in practice, and just let them have it, and putting them through extreme workouts because they are not performing up to the level that one would expect from a Michigan offensive line. I have the Trojans coming in and, like I said, putting a beat down even worse than Texas did. I think 35-17 is my prediction. I'm going with Trojans have their way offensively through the air and on the ground to empty the big house midway through the third quarter.
So you don't think we haven't seen any improvement in Michigan at all, you think?
I've watched every game, and I have to watch every Michigan game. I'm one of them Buckeye fans that I got to know the rival. Like I got to know everything about them. And I mean, we live here too, and so we have to be able to talk smack about the team and debate points and that. And I have not seen much improvement. Slightly better defensively, but offensively, I don't see Alex Orji changing a thing. But I could be wrong. Maybe he'll inspire the troops, but I don't think he will.
Yeah, after the Arkansas State game, it was hard to hold on to that. They must be holding back something, especially now that they're switching out the quarterbacks. But
I think we'll be on Jack Tuttle in a couple games because I don't think the Orgy experiment is going to work either. So,
Wow.
Justin, what do you got?
Yeah. So hear me out in this one, right? USC, I know we're riding high off USC's win versus LSU, but I mean, LSU hasn't looked great this season either.
Agreed.
So, USC came out, won 27-20, and then, LSU, for all its intents and purposes, probably should have lost South Carolina. I thought they got outplayed in that game. Nichols 21-44 in that game. So, USC, I think a lot of us are riding high off that LSU game. Then they go to Utah State and they shut them out. And I'm not saying anything against USC. Miller Moss is excellent. D'Anton Lynn has that defense, playing on a different level. I said if he brought in, a top 60 defense, because they were 100 and something last year, 119th or something. If he brought into a top 60 defense, they were going to have a shot in every game this season. But, I'm almost wondering if, I think if Michigan can kind of game plan Alex Orji and formulate a game plan based on his style, I think if they execute at a high level, I think they can give USC some problems. And I'm curious to see how Michigan, who is a physical team, who likes to be physical, who it's, kind of in their culture to be physical, goes against USC, because I want to see USC kind of wear that physicality a little bit too. And again, I think USC has one of the more physical defense, according to like the Pac-12 teams that came over. But I'm curious to see how Michigan's physicality can wear on them. I think Michigan can battle and fight in this game, and I think Michigan can hold this game to within a touchdown and potentially pull an upset. That's just me, just based on what I've seen from. I just try to look at not only their wins, but how their opponents did after they beat them. And a preseason ranking is a preseason ranking. It's just something to talk about, right? It's throwing darts at a wall. So that LSU at USC game at the beginning of the season, it's a tough opponent. Credit to them for winning a tough, hard-fought game week one. But I still don't kind of know what USC is. I think they're improved, but how improved are they? So we'll see. But I think final score, let's go 27-24. I almost want to pick Michigan to upset. Let's go 27-24 Michigan.
Ooh, all right.
Let's do it.
I suddenly feel a lot better about this game.
Don't worry, I'll help you out.
Yeah, if I could just, I have to interject. So, if I remember correctly, it seemed to me at the beginning of the season. Now, obviously, we heard a lot about Michigan being much better than what they're doing right now. But am I mistaken? Didn't we hear about USC not doing as well as they are doing? It's kind of the opposite.
Yeah,
that's okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah, it was the defense that was the huge question mark. And then if Miller Moss could come in and step in and be a decent replacement to Caleb Williams, which he has been.
Mm-hmm. All right, Garrison, give it to us.
Now, I'm not sitting here saying I'm counter Stallions, but I did get any USC fan watching this. Please make sure you send this, email it to the coaching staff over in Los Angeles. I've given the blueprint on X. Stack the box, press the wide receivers, too high safety, QB spy on third down. That's how you beat Michigan. Look, your offense is your offense, man, and putting in Alex Orji, I don't think fixes anything. He's not a dynamic runner. He's a powerful runner. He's a great athlete for his size and what he can do, but he's not a dynamic runner. He's not out there being like Lamar Jackson or Braxton Miller or even a Johnny Manziel. Those are dynamic runners. He's not that. I want to see what your wide receivers look like this week. See if maybe First off, your wide receiver coach needs to go. Overall, he hasn't recruited well, and he can't coach up his players. It seems like you guys are running a bunch of routes in a box. And I think the problem with that now is with Davis wearing you through within that box, and now when you have the Alex Orji, you're shrinking that box even more now. USC did give up 200 rushing yards in the first game of the year. Like, I don't think their rush defense is all that great. I think you guys are going to be able to run the ball to an extent. I really do. I think you're going to see a healthy dose of Khalil Mullings, which I think will. I don't think you guys are going to get blown out, but you're not going to be in the game. I think the Michigan. I've gotten a lot of pushback on this. I think your guys' secondary, outside of Will Johnson, who I honestly can't recognize this year. It's not that he's been bad, but it's kind of like why does Arkansas State feel comfortable attacking you? And I think they probably got that because of the Fresno State game. But I think the rest of that secondary is Swiss cheese. Barham, he looks lost. I think that has more to do with coaching. Again, I'm not sure why you guys hired a Wing Martindale who's been fired from his last 2 jobs as your guys' DC. If anything, you should have gone after USC's. And so now I have a question for you guys, as Cliff, as I posed earlier to you, or told you earlier. Sharon Moore, after the game, said that they will figure the quarterback situation out in practice this week. Alex Orji was named the quarterback at noon today. Now, all offseason, you guys were told that Alex Orji was the quarterback, that he's been playing good, that Davis Warren was playing good, that your offensive line was okay, but it's worse than we thought, that the wide receivers are doing really good, that your defense was looking really good, that your offense is challenging your defense. Those are all lies. Your coach has lied again. Do you trust Sharon Moore?
Well, I mean, all right, so I'm going to sound like a Michigan homer here, but I think to some extent when the coaches come out and say this is happening or this is happening, they're doing that because they don't want to come out and say, guys, we got problems. We're not going to make it this year. I mean, if your coach comes out and says that, your whole team falls apart. So I think your coaches will say what they need to say to keep the team hyped. I also think I don't think that they never really said Orji was going to be QB1. They weren't promising him as QB1. That was basically a lot of us fans. I kind of wanted Orji to be QB1 just because I was looking at experience level. I thought he would be more experienced than Davis Warren.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I didn't mean this saying that he's QB1. They were saying that he was playing really good in practice.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah. But I don't know. I guess I don't see it as the coaches lied. I just see it as the coaches, did what coaches do, and they're always talking up their team as you would expect. You don't want a coach that's going to come out and say, "Yeah, we suck. This is going to be a bad year." I just think that would be terrible for everybody, especially now that we're talking all of the money involved, which that's been involved for a while. So they can't. It's kind of like you can't let down your investors, so to speak. But to whatever extent, like I've said, I said last week, I've said before that I have had to reset my expectations because I was looking at it. I'm with Michigan. It's one of the things I'm always optimistic about. What I thought was going to happen was all of the coaches that moved up, because everybody was saying, "Oh, they lost everybody," but what I saw was all the assistant coaches being moved up, which means they were being coached up, and then theoretically, the way it should work is that all of your second stringers should have been coached up so that when all of the first stringers left for the NFL, the second stringers jump up and they take over the game. And that hasn't happened, at least as far as we can tell. And if Michigan is holding something back, then they need to stop doing that like immediately. But the fact that they're changing out quarterbacks right now, I think means Michigan is not holding anything back. That what we've seen the last 3 weeks is what Michigan is. Where I hold out hope is that it looks like the culture at Michigan is still good. It doesn't look like they're giving up at all. Like I think I was talking to you on Twitter about that or maybe it was on your show that. We've seen in the Rich Rod years and the Hoke years where there was that play somewhere in the late second quarter, early third quarter where Michigan just lost the ball and the game was over. and you could see it. It was palpable that the game was over at that point. I haven't seen that in Harbaugh's teams, and I haven't seen that so far this year. So I hold out hope that the guys are still trying as hard as they can. So if they can get that right combination, maybe something clicks and the season is saved, and we're 8-4, 9-3. Also, I saw Donovan Edwards after the game Saturday. He actually was, he was doing the Harbaugh thing where he was looking at Rich Mullins. He was looking at Mullins saying, this is the guy you want to talk to. He was promoting Mullins rather than, feeling like he was being left out of the game, which I think is good. So that the players are helping each other. Otherwise, I mean, that's what I've got. That's how I look at it.
All right. Well, the only thing I'll say to that, my friend, is that other programs like Ohio State, they let the media see their team, and there's nothing to hide. So whatever, so I understand. I do understand what you're saying when you talk about you want to keep the confidence on your team.
Mm-hmm.
But for Ohio State, where the media gets to see and tell us the truth, most kind of the truth, those are the coaches telling everyone in the Michigan media what they want to hear. And so that was the only reason why I asked that question. But for a score, give me Justin, you said how many points did they score?
I said 27-24.
You think Michigan gets to 27 points?
I just want to see the world burn, to be honest.
Nice.
Whatever.
He doesn't care. Nebraska's 3-0.
That was
Go.
funny. That was funny.
Let's go.
That was funny. Give me USC 26. I think they're forced to kick a few field goals. And Michigan 17.
All right. Mack, you're up.
All right. Well,
don't bring up Western Michigan.
When PJ Fleck was at Western Michigan, they had a perfect season.
Just playing.
What?
Right now, Justin, there's no difference between those two. So
there was one point where Western Michigan played at USC and took USC to the fourth quarter in a close game.
I was there. My boy Johnny Wasink.
Yeah. Oh, there we. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. We were talking about that.
I said, don't talk about Western Michigan.
All right, everybody, listen to Justin, for crying out loud. Oh, Mac, you're. I think you killed your mic.
That's what happens when you talk about Western Michigan. Auto mute you. That's what you get.
He was trying to be all Darth Vader there for a second and killed his own microphone. So now I have to keep talking until he gets his microphone figured out. There we go.
There we go.
And it's
That's a cool mic.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was $50, I think.
Damn.
Get it on Amazon. Yeah, it seems to be working.
Almost 500.
I need to an arm. All right, nice flex there, Justin. Jeez.
I'm saying I shouldn't have paid this much money for a dang mic.
Oh, all right, never mind. So again, suck it. Anyway,
I should have stuck with a $100, $50 one.
There you go. Yeah, this is $50. Sell yours and just get a $50 one on Amazon. You can probably make a profit.
No.
Can we continue this conversation? Because I don't want to talk about this game.
Yeah.
No. All right. So
give me the one, pick Michigan.
So here's the thing. I guess I'll preface this by saying that I expect USC to win. But if Michigan were going to win, it would be like this. They accept their mistake in not starting Alex Orji in the beginning of the season and giving him the experience that he needs. Okay. We can swallow our pride and say that was the thing that probably should have happened. In this game, what needs to happen is a continuation of what the first stringers did against Arkansas State. And that was they actually established a run game. Michigan ran for something over 250 yards, 3 touchdowns. Kalel Mullings is clearly RB1 for sure. Donovan Edwards needs to be on the field, but not at running back. Slot receiver, I think Bryce was saying that at one point. I can't remember who was saying that, but Donovan Edwards needs to be on the field. And if you get him the ball on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage, he's really good.
he just can't see where he doesn't have the vision necessary to make the cuts to get, those chunk plays, the 5, 6, 7 yard chunk plays that we were used to seeing Blake Corum get last year. So this is what you do then. You let Alex Orji use his legs to get out of a tough situation. He can scramble. Okay, cool. So that makes his legs kind of a threat. If he throws the ball 15 times in the game and completes 9 or 10 of those passes, maybe that's enough for USC to kind of back off a little bit, not stack the box too much. Or it's enough to at least keep Michigan on the field a couple of times so that they can get a couple of touchdowns. They can grab a couple of field goals to stay in the game and then maybe make a late push in the fourth quarter because they've established a run game and they're beating up on USC's defense. So, yeah, I understand that USC's defense looked really good against LSU, and they did. But like Justin said, we don't really know much about LSU. They probably should have lost to South Carolina. And by extension, we really don't know much about USC, actually. We know that they're probably pretty good, but how good, and is it good enough that if Michigan actually gets something of an identity in the run game, that it's still a given that USC wins the game? So to me, Michigan wins if they establish a run game and can run for 200 yards on USC and basically turn this into 2023 Penn State. Because I'm at the point where I don't care if Michigan has a passing game, because they've beaten top 10 teams on the road by telling the other team, hey, we're going to run the ball a million times in a row, and you can try and stop it, but you're not going to. Do they have the offensive line for that this year? We'll see. But I think that's what they would need to do in order to beat USC. And then they beat USC, then the entire season, the season's restarted. We can start from scratch again and see what happens next, because they have some decent teams coming up that aren't so good that, it's questionable whether or not Michigan wins, but they can still provide some decent tests as they warm up for like Oregon or somebody. But that being said, I still expect USC to win something like 28-21. But again, if Michigan wins, it's because they established a run game and dared USC to stop it.
What's your score pick?
28-21 USC.
28-20. All right.
One interesting facet of this game is, the Orgy offense hasn't been put on film yet, outside of these gadget plays, of course, that, he's, of course, going to run the football from the quarterback position, but they could potentially, if he has the capability, spring some things on this USC defense that, like you guys pointed out, still has a lot to prove. I'm not sold on them either, and that's, I'm not picking USC because I think I'm sold on their defense yet. They've still got a lot to prove. Only 3 games in the season, but
yeah,
it's just my lack of confidence in the Michigan offense. But like I said, they have the potential to get creative. If Kirk Campbell gets creative, this could be closer than the prediction I laid out at the beginning.
See, and I don't even know that it's like a matter of getting creative. I really think that this could be just 2023 Penn State if Michigan's offensive line can open up 1 or 2 holes and Michigan can control time of possession. I mean, yeah, maybe Michigan ends a couple of series getting some field goals. I mean, all they have to do at this point is get somewhere near the 40, and Dominic Zavada can hit basically anything, which is just nuts. But I don't know. I think that the game plan is actually pretty simple. I think it's establish the line of scrimmage with the run game and force USC to play the box, like Garrison is saying. And then if you can complete somewhere around the neighborhood of 9 or 10 of 15 passes, then maybe it's enough. It's not great, but maybe it's enough.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Justin.
No, I was going to say, I think a good game plan would be to just try to get, the run game going outside. I don't know how good the perimeter blocking is, but try to get the run game going outside and then use that to kind of open up the middle of the field. But, there's got to be some kind of game plan like that. Like, you got to take advantage of Orgy's running ability. Of course, he's not going to sit back in the pocket and throw. But, to Garrison, Garrison's talking about he's not much of a dynamic runner. He's a power runner. But that if they can strategically play that could play into their advantage too, just in case USC, you can wear down kind of their defensive line by getting him going up the middle on, some power stuff. If you get the edges just kind of set and them kind of spread out, the defense spread out across the field outside of the box. But yeah, if they can just sit there and stack the box all day, it'll be a lot rougher. So they got to get creative with their run game and how they mix him in. Dare we see a couple of option plays? It would be cool to see that, I think. But
I just want to see him throw the ball at the dirt again.
I mean, that'll happen 5 times, but
hey, when Patrick Mahomes does it, it's a great play, according to Tony Romo. So that's what he said when he threw it in the dirt.
Hey, I will not take any Tony Romo slander.
Oh, it's Pat Mahomes slander, not Romo.
Oh.
Well, to Justin's point, I feel like it'd be tough for the Wolverines to run to the outside because Morris and Morgan, they are such small wide receivers. Like, they're not great blockers, at least proven through the first couple games. And so, like, it is an interesting concept, but I'm not convinced that Michigan is capable of running better and improving to the outside just because of the size of their tiny wide receivers. I do like how they've moved Loveland around, but
is he?
You gotta find somebody else. Yeah, is he healthy?
Oh yeah,
we have
I
an
don't
update?
know.
I know that
I need to check on that.
the submarine on injuries is still intact under Sharon Moore.
Yeah, because if he's out, then I'm saying you guys barely. It's a struggle to get to 10.
That could be. I think, and you could see that the one of the obvious problems Michigan was having was protecting Davis Warren. They couldn't keep the pocket steady so that he had time to do anything. I was thinking at one point that when they made Orji the QB1 today, that it might give them a chance because Orji, I think, is much more physical, and he might actually have a chance to throw off some tackles, even if the pocket collapses. But at the same time, he couldn't run it up the middle. Every time they gave it to him to run up the middle, he was stopped either on the line or for a loss. So I don't know if that's going to help either. But
those play calls were also telegraphed. I mean, you saw that coming from a mile away, million miles away. Yeah. I don't know, from a very far distance. I mean, it was clear every time they brought him in. But that was the issue with starting Davis Warren and then bringing Alex Orji in on these, special third down packages. Because every time since Alex Orji wasn't the starter, every time you saw him come in, you're like, okay, he's clearly running the ball. Yeah. Maybe now that he's the starter, they have to question it a little bit more.
Yeah, that could be true. If he's in there for most of the plays, then they won't be able to say, "Oh, Orji's coming in; he's going to run up the middle." So, yeah, we'll see.
Also, they said that Colston Loveland's injury was less serious than they thought, but they're still evaluating. Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. I'm hoping that next week all of us are happy.
Too.
Oh, I'm prepping victory laps again. I'm prepping victory laps.
Oh, I'm sure.
I think y'all are safe.
Yeah. I want to thank you guys for being on. I appreciate you guys being regular guests now. Looking forward to having you on next week. Like I said, I hope we can all come back with wins next week. Let's give socials and I'll let you guys go. Let's start with Pete. Pete, where can let us know again where we can find you?
Yeah, Rob and I do live shows every Thursday night at 8:30 over on Buckeyes Battle Cry on YouTube, and we post videos throughout the week as well, discussing the upcoming games and the week that was in college football. So yeah, join us over there as we break down some Big Ten football and national football as well.
All right.
Thanks again, you guys. Have a good night. All right.
Yeah, thanks for being on. Really appreciate it,
man.
Let me close you out there. All right, Justin, you're up next. Where can everybody find you? And also, thank you for being on the show.
No, I appreciate y'all having me again. And sorry about the Colorado game last week. Are coming into the show from last week. I just flew into town. I had to pick up all 3 of my dogs from different places spread out across the valley. So they're all 30 minutes apart because my German Shepherd has to go to boarding because he can't stay with a sitter. But my other dog here, she can stay with a sitter. It's cheaper than boarding. And then my little one stays with my friend because she's like a cat. She just keeps to herself. But yeah, so I appreciate y'all having me back on. I look forward to joining more. But you can find me at Nebraska Football at the Voice of College Football. I have former players on and doing interviews and stuff like that weekly. I'm also doing, like I said, I have all 22 film reviews that I'll do throughout the week. If you're a Big Ten fan and your team's playing ours, just come over. Also at the Big Ten Show. You can find me on X at _H-Town-Husker, and it's just kind of a mixed bag of what you'll get on there. So
awesome. Thank you very much, Justin, for being on the show. We
Thanks,
have a good week. We'll see you next weekend.
See you, Justin.
Or next Monday.
Later, man.
See ya. All right, Garrison. What do you got?
No,
Where
man.
can everybody find you? Also, thank you for being on the show.
Oh,
First
thank
class.
you guys, man. Huh? Oh,
No.
no, man. No,
All right.
I appreciate you guys having me on, man. I love being on here with you guys. You guys are great guys and great people.
Oh, thank you.
You can find me at Buckeye_Gaddy on X. Scarlet and Blue Show is our YouTube show on Tuesdays and Thursdays. All of our accounts are Scarlet Blue Show. Bryce is Bryce R. Sack if you want to see a delusional Michigan fan who posts a picture of Alex Orgy and Cam Newton for some odd reason. God
love him for it.
He's that guy is something else.
I'm not gonna lie. I saw that, and even I'm like, no, Bryce.
Dude, by the way, I want to give someone a shout out real quick. You know, Bryce and I call high school games.
Yep.
Carson Viss, our quarterback. First off, South Christian, our high school is the #1 team in D4 football right now, state of Michigan.
Nice.
He had a 400-yard game last week with 4 touchdowns passing. Then this week they played West Catholic. He went 19 for 29. I think 196 passing yards, 15 carries, 195, and 2 touchdowns. So yeah, man. So shout out to you, Carson. But yeah, man. Again, thank you guys, and I'll hopefully see you next time.
Yeah, man.
Definitely.
Sounds good.
With tears in your eyes.
I was telling Mac earlier that it's really cool that this is what we've always wanted to do with our show, is have this kind of roundtable stuff, and it's just been great finding you and Bryce, and then Pete and Rob and Justin. It's like, we found our team, and it's great talking football with you guys. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
No, man, thanks, man. I'll get Bryce back here sometime soon. Last week he did that stupid where is this program located game. I suck at that game, dude. I just horrible at it. I've never gotten it right. All last season over. So
the Arkansas State one where he's like, okay, where's Arkansas State located? I was like, dude, who cares? Nobody knows where Arkansas State's located.
If I had just fixed my laptop, I would have punched it. I was so all right, guys. You guys have a good night, all right? And a good week.
You too, man.
Take care, Garrison. Thanks for being on.
Sure, guys.
All right. Another fantastic show. Really
Awesome
appreciate
show.
everybody being
Yeah.
on.
Great panel.
Appreciate everybody being in the chat. Lots of good comments out there. Just finish up a couple more here. Borge Warner says he loves high school football. Grand Rapids area has great Michigan teams. I did not know that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. A lot of good football out here.
Yeah.
West Ottawa, Rochelle's alma mater is playing. I can hear the band every once in a while. I think they practice on Wednesday nights or something like that. So, yeah.
Oh, you can hear them out the window?
Yeah. If you go outside,
nice.
you can hear the field's like within walking distance. It's just around the corner here. It's really cool. And you know what's funny? I think it was 2017. We actually went to a West Ottawa game. They were playing Caledonia. I'm pretty sure they got blown out by Caledonia. Yeah. But dude, high school football is actually a lot of fun. I really enjoyed watching it. I want to go. I want to go again soon. That would be cool.
Yeah, I might go to homecoming this year again too. That was kind of fun.
At Pinckney?
At my old high school, yeah.
Nice.
All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. Don't forget to check out the teamrivalry.com website where you can play along with the picks on the Pigskin Showdown there. You just have to put in your email and make a username, and then you're good to go. Also, check out our shows on Michigan football at the Voice of College Football. Our Point a Minute show will be on tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Plus, John Diadamo and TJ have a lot of fantastic analysis on their shows as well. Definitely worth your time to check all that out. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed already. Join us next Monday night at 8 p.m. right here, and we will talk about whatever happened with Michigan and USC. Hopefully, we are happy and joyful. We're holding out for that. Mac, any last words on your side there?
Go Marshall, I guess.
Marshall.
I don't know.
Pinckney is a beautiful area. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's going to do it for us. I got to put Keegan's back up here. All rise. As we step out, Mac, take us out.
This is the Big Ten Team Rivalry Show. Good night, everybody.
Good night, and go blue.
Good night. Go blue.